Morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody. Welcome, welcome.
Happy Symposium Day.
Yes, this is our first symposium of the season, so it's so great to be here. Hi, everybody. Yeah, thank you for turning your screen on. Good to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Morning, Christine,
Morning.
Iona Prep.
Hello.
Good morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
To see everybody there. Nice. Yeah,
Morning,
great.
Holly. Hey, everybody.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Hey.
Cynthia is
Morning.
here.
Maryland
Thank
in the
you.
house. Oh, wonderful.
Hi, Miss OG. Good to see you. All right, getting
Hey, Dawn.
everybody
Hi, everybody.
in. Hi.
Hey, Worthing High School.
Oh, this looks so official. Everybody's looking good.
Yeah. Hi, Planet Pals.
Planet Pals, nice. Hello, Kenton. Hi, Kimberly. Mhm.
All right, we're just letting in more people. And I'll share my screen in just a moment as we start.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Miss
I
Sabi.
miss Sabi.
Good to see you. Hello, hello. All right. Trying to go to my second page here now. See if there's more people. All right, I'm going to share my screen. So welcome, welcome. As we let more people in, and a lot of you have already done this, which is great. For the adults, like our guests that are joining us, if you can just put your name, comma, org. And then if you are an adult that is just on their own, like a teacher, you can put your name and your school. And then students, I think it's great if you put, yeah, if you're, some of you have the title of your, I love that, the title of your presentation, because I know some of you have multiple groups from your school. That's super helpful. You can also just put your school if it's just the one group from your school. Awesome. How are we looking with everybody coming in?
Looks like a few more are still popping on.
Okay, we'll give it one more minute. Thank you for joining us.
If anyone needs help renaming, I pop in and help edit some renames. So if you see your name change, I'm just trying to help out.
Yes, this helps us because we're gonna, as you know, do breakout rooms. So it's just helps streamline that process. Okay. Awesome. All right. Do we have all the schools here now?
I think we can get started.
Okay. All right, awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our CELF Virtual Student Symposium. This is our first one for this season, and we're just so excited to kick it off here with you today. I know we have probably over 100 people online. It doesn't look like that, but I know there are multiple people in each like Zoom room. So it's just great to have you all with us. In case you don't know who I am and our CELF team, my name is Rowena and I'm from the New York region. I'm joined here by Vicky, Tara, Enrique, Pallavi, and Grace. Come off and say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Good morning.
And we also have our Texas team, Stephanie and Kareen.
Hey, everybody.
Morning.
Yes, so we're all here to support and excited to see all the presentations for today. So as you may know, our mission is to establish sustainability as integral part of every child's education. Thank you. And the way we try to achieve our mission is through our civic science program, this inquiry to action framework, which your teachers have been trained on either this past year in our virtual cohort or in the past years in person. And that's what your projects are going to be, are grounded in. We start with inquiry, where it's very student-centered, where you're connecting to your place, asking a meaningful question, and then you're forming your research around that by collecting data, gathering different observations and taking that data and analyzing it, as well as then collaborating with the community, trying to find out different perspectives to come up with some sort of solution or resolution, next steps that will help you design something that will address this issue or maybe this question that you have that's very community based. And then it brings you to action. So what are you going to do with all that information? And today is one of those things you can do. And so we're just excited to bring you all here along with our guests who are field experts and community members. And so we wouldn't be able to do this without the support of our sponsors. So these are a few of our sponsors for this year who've helped us through this civic science cohort, as well as our student symposium. So shout out to them. Thank you so much. This helps fund a lot of the micro grants for field trips you may have been taking this year and materials for your projects. So just want to do a quick shout out to all our participating schools. We have 4 different regions. So New York, if you want to come off mute, say hi, everybody. We have New York here.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
Yes, I
Hi.
see you there, Jefferson. I know Anton. Awesome. And then we got Texas. We got a lot of schools here from Texas. So shout out. Hi, Texas. You want to come up?
Texas.
Woo! Lots of love. And then we got Maryland. Miss
Hello.
OG in Baltimore. This is, I think, your
Woo!
3rd or 4th symposium.
Our veteran virtual teacher in
Yes.
school.
And then we have the Government Day Secondary School in Nigeria.
Woo!
Say hi.
Welcome.
Woo. Good to see you. So glad you could join us. So it's really great to bring together all these different regions. Yes. Thank you. And we're so, looking forward to hearing from everyone today. We also have a lot of community partners and guests who will be in the breakout rooms with the students, hearing from you all and, asking questions, engaging with you. So just a big shout out to them. Without your work and partnership, this is a collective, endeavor. It wouldn't be possible. So thank you again to everybody here. All right. So just a few production notes. As you heard, we are recording this session, so just keep that in mind. If you're really not, don't want to be recorded, just you can turn off your camera when it comes to that time. But as we asked if you could rename yourself, this really helps us organize the breakout rooms. And just to have patience in this virtual space. We know how it goes, and I think we're all doing our best with it. And it's just a great way for us to connect. There is a closed caption available, so if you need that, on the right here, we have a picture of what you can look to get that. So just click on the 3 buttons and it will show you to the captions. And that also allows you to enable subtitles if you need that. And before we continue on, we just ask teachers if you can do a quick count of how many students you have on today and drop that total number in the chat. That is just helpful for us to track, for our data, how many students were able to join us on our virtual symposium. So just take a moment and drop that in the chat. Thank you so much. And I know we have some teachers joining to just see what it's like because they're probably going to the in-person. So we welcome you here as well. We're so excited to have you here. All right. So as you're doing that, I'll just go over the agenda very quickly. We have our welcome remarks from our executive director, and then we will get into our student presentations, which will include Q&A in these breakout rooms, and then we will have our closing remarks. So it's a really quick hour. It goes by so fast, and so that's why I'm probably talking really fast, but I hope all of that has, allowed to clarify anything. If you have any questions at all, just put them into the chat. Also, just want to shout out our tech support, Enrique. So if there are any questions tech-wise, just shoot him a message. He's really helped us out behind the scenes. So without further ado, want to hand it over to Tara Stafford-Ocansey, our executive director.
Thank you so much, Rowena, and good morning and good day to all of you. We are so thrilled to welcome you here to our 2026 Civic Science Virtual Student Symposium. Woo! To showcase and celebrate all the great research and action that you all have been engaged in this school year. And as Rowena said, this is our first of 3 symposium events that we'll be hosting this spring, but it is our only virtual event. And of course, we love to be with you all in person, but there is something special about this virtual event that allows us to come together across our learning communities in New York, Texas, Maryland, and all the way in Adamawa State in Nigeria, reminding us that while the work that you're all doing is local to your school communities, we are all connected together through our shared pursuit of a more sustainable future. And it makes sense that we're gathered here as we transition to spring, a season of renewal and new life, when we can invite the warming weather and blooming landscape around us to inspire a renewed sense of hope and motivation within us. And we see this deep sense of shared hope as the foundation of the incredible work you're all doing, pursuing solutions like improving water quality, cultivating community health and resilience with campus gardens and reduced waste, advancing climate action by reducing your campus emissions with solar energy, and so much more. And we know these pursuits of environmental conservation, climate action, and community resilience that we hold dear are facing more and more challenges, from federal policy shifts to the rise of AI and its resource demands. But we also see the cresting of long building waves of hope, with one momentous example that some of you may have heard of being the recent adoption earlier this month of the new climate education requirement in New York State, achieved in significant part due to the advocacy, persistence, and the vote of our closing speaker today, Shino Tanakawa, who is an esteemed member of the New York State Education Department's Board of Regents and the executive director of the New York City Soil and Water District. Thank you so much, Gino, for showing us what's possible when we stay the course in community, as all of you are modeling as well. And I want to echo Rowena in thanking our supporters and partners who help propel our civic science program, enabling us to provide the project supplies, field trip transportation, workshops for our teachers, and all that goes into making these projects possible. Of course, we want to thank our teachers, who we know have poured so much energy and creativity into planning projects, supporting your students to cultivate skills of active listening, observation, data-driven storytelling, and working together with people from all different backgrounds and perspectives through these projects, which we hope and believe will have long-lasting ripple effects toward creating more sustainable communities where all living beings can thrive. We know you juggle a lot to make it happen, and we are so grateful. And of course, I need to shout out my amazing CELF team who have been supporting our teachers these past months and putting in the hours, especially these past couple weeks and days, to pull together today's event. You are the best, and I'm grateful every day to be on this team with you. And of course, to our talented students for your curiosity and commitment to your projects and the visions of a healthier world they represent. We encourage you, and we are here for you as you keep listening, paying attention, and finding all the ways that each of you can bring your unique perspectives, skills, and talents to bear, not only in your current roles, but in your future roles as creators, workers, entrepreneurs, innovators, engaged community members, and global citizens. We are so proud of you, we're humbled by you, and we can't wait to learn more about your projects and see where you take your ideas next. So let's get on to the show.
Thank you, Tara. That's great. I'm loving all the love in the chat. This is great to see, or the emojis. That's super fun. It's a great way to stay connected in this virtual space. So thank you for all that energy. And we're going to move it on now to our presentations. So we will have 40 minutes in the breakout rooms. Each student group will have 5 minutes to present and then 5 minutes for a Q&A. A CELF staff member will be in the breakout room to moderate that room and share screen with all the slides for your room. Guests, again, will be joining those rooms, and the breakout rooms will be recorded. So in order to get into our breakout rooms, here is the list for assignments. I know students probably have been told which room, but just so you can double check, please see what room you will be going to. And then also guests, take a look at where your name is for which room. We will put that in the chat if it hasn't shown up there yet, just for your reference. Thank you, Grace. And once that's done, yep, that will, thank you. The breakout room should be open. So what you'll do is click onto the room that you have been assigned. I think something should have popped up, and you'll be able to just click the number that you would like to join. If you're having trouble, Enrique will help move you into that room and enjoy. So we will see you in about 40 minutes. Have a great time. And yeah, thank you so much.
See you all in the rooms. Got it. All righty. Thank you. So we are recording. So kick it off. Let's hear from Iona Prep. And if you want to introduce yourselves and kick it off with our first presentation.
Okay, I'm Sean Dowling. This is Devin Deegan and Travis Abrahams, and we're talking about how Iona Prep is on its path to being carbon neutral.
Great, thank you. And I will progress your slides. If I forget, just say next.
Okay, next, please. So our inquiry was focused on how can Iona Prep reduce its carbon emissions, and we realized that how for climate change to be corrected, everyone needed to be properly educated, which is why in New York State there's now climate education as part of the mandated curriculum. Next, we kind of found Westchester Bean County, USA, and we participated in the 100 Schools Challenge, which is a challenge that's focused on students learning about carbon emissions and trying to learn. On the screen is a link to learn more about it. We took the challenge in 23 to 24 school year. We lowered our carbon footprint to 582 tons, and you guys can also find your carbon footprint. We'd love for you guys to help us with this. So what we do was we found major places where our carbon footprint could have been reduced, like gas boilers and other things that my colleague Devin will be talking about today, and we reduced it. Next slide, please.
So these are some of the graphs that we collected from this school year, from January 2025 to January 2026. Our carbon emissions has gone up by around 300 tons, which was a huge jump into the graph that we created. And we wanted to look into how we are going to lower this. Our Iona motto is carbon neutral. So we're trying to be net zero. So input equals output is the main motto that we have. A lot of these graphs, we have a lot of different buildings in our schools. So that's why we're a lot of graphs. And this is just a daily average electric usage and daily therms. And I calculated this, and our school produced 192 tons of CO2 this year, which is a lot lower than our past 3 years. Next slide, please. So yeah, like I said, our estimated tons of CO2 is 1,092 tons. On the slide, you can see our annual heat and annual electricity. We got this calculator from One World, like Sean said. So on the side, you can see the differences from the past 3 years, and it's averaged around 8.3 tons of CO2 more this year. So the problem was that we retired 2 gas boilers during the 23 and 24 school year, and that helped drop. But then
1 minute remaining.
But then we had more. There's teachers that wanted to put on the AC during the summer or winter times, and they had different habits. So that's what happened with our CO2 this year. Next, please.
All right, so it's no secret that climate resiliency is a really big awareness challenge. Our goal is to reduce carbon dioxide by 300 tons by next year. You can see there's a QR code. If you could take out your phones, scan that QR code, that'd be great. It'll help you purchase carbon offset certificates to help us achieve our goal. Now, our solution is net zero, where we cut back where we can, in addition to funding clean energy generators like tree planting. And our goal is to control all the carbon emissions we give off and all the carbon emissions we neutralize.
Apologies, you have 1 minute remaining.
That's pretty much it for our presentation. It's just that so our solution is basically, like Travis said, to invest in the UN's carbon offset platform. We purchase invest in things that will produce a certain amount of carbon to equal the amount of carbon that we're offsetting we're putting out into the world. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you all. We do want to open it up for questions. So if any of our guests in the room or other participating students and peers, feel free to ask some questions.
I do have a question. First of all, incredible work, and I love seeing the data because the numbers really show you what's happening. I'm curious, though, with what you've learned, what are your next steps? You talked about you're purchasing the certificates, but do you have any other next steps to message? You started with talking about how learning is really important.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so our next steps involve working with Green County, USA to like promote their learning of carbon emissions and like having them help lower people. And for ION as a whole, we're doing next steps like our colleagues in the other breakout room are talking about solar generators and stuff, lower our carbon emissions. And for carbon offset specifically from the UN, we're planning to host fundraisers and promote people in donating money so we can buy these offset programs. Thank you. Did I answer your question fully?
I also wanted to add it that a lot of teachers have different habits when it comes to what their preferred classroom looks like. So some might want it colder, some might want it hotter. And that was kind of the problem that we saw this year. So we're trying to advocate for a more controlled temperature and make sure that we're not putting the AC on in the middle of March, or we're not blasting the heat too high in springtime.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
Yeah, kind of along with how are you developing those conversations about changing habits with the teachers? What are some ideas y'all have for starting those conversations?
Would you like to take that, or you want me to?
You could start.
Okay, so obviously, like a teacher has control over the classroom, and it's not right for us to like tell them what to do. But we were like planning to do like information sessions so they can truly understand their actions and like what doing these things do to like make them think like, do they really want the AC on, and like kind of like how people do like things like kind of like challenges like part of Westchester Green County actually does is like they try to do like a week where like they get the lowest amount, like they try to do like all carbon savings, and we're gonna like try to implement that, like stop turning the AC on and trying to do that as like more of like a challenge, like see if they can do it and like maybe like do a prize. I don't know. Is that all?
I'd like to add that as part of the action club, we want to take action at our school. So we're definitely going to try and create projects or create ways for other students to interact and know what carbon neutral is, know what net zero is, and we're going to try our best to help others get involved with the movement that we've created.
Thank you. Does anyone, does that fully answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Does anyone else have a question?
Okay, well, thank you. Great round of applause, and I see some emojis. We're going to keep it going on to the next presentation just to stay on schedule. And if you have any more questions for Iona, we'll have time at the end.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to present.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. All right. Up next, we have Rio Grande City High School with Miss Alanis.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Can you hear? We can hear you.
We are the Rio Grande City High School Water Testing Club, and our main objective on this presentation is how clean is our water and is it safe? The two locations
Oh, I just want to interrupt 1 minute. Whoever is speaking, if you could come a little bit closer to where the mic is, it just might be easier for us to hear you since you're all in one group.
It's kind of short.
Okay.
Thank you. Continue.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. The two locations that we collected our water from was the Rio Grande River in Roma and the Falcon State Park. So when collecting this water, we collect the top of the river and then the bottom of the river. And yeah. Next, please. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
To start off, I'll begin with the introduction. The primary purpose of the study conducted by students on water testing in different locations of the Rio Grande River in Texas was to collect and analyze data on water quality. We'll start off with the study objectives next.
I'm Dr. Mosa, and I'll be doing the study objectives. And our first objective was to assess the water quality along the Rio Grande River. We tested key parameters such as pH, turbidity, temperature, dissolved oxygen, and contaminants. And the next objective was to promote environmental awareness to our community. We raised environmental awareness by presenting our data to our schools and then our student council. And the next objective was to enhance student skills. We offer students hands-on experience in scientific research, data collection, and analysis and reporting, fostering their interest and skills in environmental science and stewardship. Next.
Hello, I'm Jay Pena, and I'm going to go over our study locations and our sampling sites. So during our study, we did study the water at the Rio Grande River. And so the Rio Grande River does come from Colorado and ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. So not only did we test the river throughout Stark County, we tested it under one of the international bridges that connects to Mexico from the top of the river and the bottom of the river. Additionally, we went to the Falcon Lake State Park where we did test the actual lake itself, and we could only the shallow area because we were not able to get to the deeper section because it is a pretty large lake. But this water is important. It's important to know how clean our water is because not only is it our source of aggregation, but it also runs the industry. All of the water that we are using every single day throughout Stark County and even throughout South Texas comes from this water alone. The water in our sinks, the water in our toilets, the water in our showers, it has to be clean. So our objective was to see what it really is in our water. What are we putting on our face? What are we drinking every day? That was kind of our objective. Next, please.
So I'm Emiliana Veloso, and I'm going to start off with the results and data visualizations that we have here. So in the past, our team actually has been doing this for 5 years, and we decided to take what we have this year and compare with the other years just to see the trends that are happening in the Rio Grande City. And so first we have dissolved oxygen. And so the levels are marginal and low with dropping below the 5 parts per meter threshold, which is not ideal for diverse ecosystems, and it doesn't really support life forms like the fish and the clams and stuff. And so part of this is because we have a relatively low water level, and just to put it into perspective, our river right now is at 20%, and when it gets really hot, like in the summertime, it gets all down to 9 or 10%. And so next we have the phosphates, and it's been consistently above the 0.05 milligrams per liter, which means that it is our water is in danger of algal bloom, which produces toxins, depletes oxygen kills fish and even harms humans. And part of the reason why this is happening is because of the agricultural runoff from fertilizers and detergents. And next we have the nitrates. So
1 minute remaining.
okay, so the nitrates are below the recommended level, meaning it's low stress, and kind of supports active fish. And then next we have turbidity, which has improved over the 5 years. Great news, and signifies a reduced level of suspended sediments. And next we have the pH, which fluctuates between 7 to 8, and which is at a basic level, which is good, which is near the optimal 7.4. So yeah. Next.
As for the conclusion, the findings that my name is Felix Gutierrez, and what we found is our water is dirty. Like, that's bottom line, it's dirty. Over the fecal chloroform, that part is probably the worst part, and I definitely would not recommend swimming in our water here. That's like the one thing I could say, because it's pretty dirty. And with these trends, that's all they show. So yeah, thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
for this.
Any questions?
Any questions?
All right, we do have a question from Rachel. Or is that a clap? Sorry, that's a clap. I'm
Oh, it was
confusing my
applause.
emojis.
I can ask a question just because, yeah, absolutely. Great job, y'all. Did you get to tour a water treatment plant or anything like that in your data collection or project process?
We did not get to tour a treatment plant. We got to tour the dam, and we got to talk to our people that work in the dam that operate the water levels going in and out to the river. And they explained to us it's like a very tedious process, and there's a lot of people involved in that process. They have to like analyze the amount of water that's going into these cities from the river, and then they have to then open and close the dam, and they have to do a lot of calculations to do that.
And if I may add one thing, though we do have a local water treatment plant, obviously our water does run off into the river itself, but because we border Mexico and the conditions aren't as high, how do I say it? They're not as high maintenance as ours. We hold this water to high potential. They don't do that, so that water obviously mixes. So there's only so much we can do on our side.
Yeah. Really great that y'all got to go learn from those folks. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was just trying to unmute myself. Great job. Thank you for sharing these findings. I love a good water testing experiment, and I love that this was hands-on and you guys were right there in the river collecting this data. So if there's any other questions, we can move on to the next. And I just want to do a quick check. Did we have our group yet join from Pasadena? Are you in the room? Still no. Okay. And Jeanette, are you with one of the schools? Okay. All right, that's okay. Sorry, just troubleshooting some things behind the scenes. Thank you guys. Great job. We're going to move on to the next. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the chat. Let me just see if there's anything. Oh, you're part of, sorry. Thank you, Jeanette. You're part of Rio Grande. Thank you. Okay, great. Moving on to the next, we have Kenmore Junior Senior High School Big Picture Program, Eliminating E-Waste. Take it up. You're up.
Hello, my name is Ella, and this is my colleague Devin. We are from Kenmore Junior High School Big Picture, and this is our project called Eliminating E-Waste. Can you move to the next slide, please? Who we are, we come from the Kenton Big Picture program, a very small school with small classes, and we do something called an independent project, and for our independent project this trimester, we chose this topic. Can you go to the next one?
Inquiry question. How can we reduce electronic waste in the environment and how we can spread information about reducing e-waste? Okay. Data collection. The town of Tonawanda collects electronics curbside on regular collection day via a dedicated electronics recycle truck. However, not all electronics end up being properly recycled, and this is an issue that we want to reduce. The U.S. generates roughly 22 kg of e-waste per person per year, and the town of Tonawanda has around 73,000 residents, which would put the ballpark at roughly 1,600 metric tons generated annually.
Next slide, please. So this is a graph that we put all of our information in, showing the numbers exact, and can't really see.
So it's basically just showing how much it is estimated per person per year, and then all of those people combined. Okay, next slide.
The town of Tonawanda has a need for electronic recycling. We need to teach our residents about the importance of properly disposing the electronics. And the collaboration, we worked with our teachers, especially our environmental science, Miss McDonald, also our class advisors, and the members of the community who work and live in the town of Tonawanda. Devin's father actually works for the town.
Next.
Your turn.
Action. We want to provide electronic recycling boxes in the community besides just the town collecting electronics to encourage more people to recycle their e-waste. What we're going to do is our builder Dylan, he's going to make a kind of like a recycling bin, but it's going to be tall and wide. It's going to be about 4 feet wide, 6 feet or 5 or 6 feet tall, and 3 feet in width. Next slide. And this is about what it will look like. Also, another thing that we are planning on doing is on one of the side have instructions on how to, like, for example, take a battery out of a TV and then place it in there, because you don't need a whole TV to go in the trash. You can just take out it. That's really it. Next.
And before we end our time, I would just like to explain some of the facts that we would put on the back of the box. Some of the things we researched out are like the health problems e-waste can cause. And I learned that from the moment e-waste is dumped onto our land, it starts rotting and the chemicals start seeping into the ground almost immediately. It doesn't take years. It's almost on instant from the rain, whether it's rain or shine, hot or cold. And the health effects can be really dangerous. They can cause miscarriages in women. It can cause lung disease, heart failure.
And remaining.
Those are some of the things we really wanted to emphasize when we put the information on the back of the box, because some people just don't understand the importance of it, actually. And I think that's all we had. Yeah. Sorry, it was fast.
No, that was perfect. Thank you. Great job. I love your slides. I love how you really modeled the steps of the framework there in your study. And I think that with e-waste, it's something we don't think about too often, or we do. And this faces it's a big challenge for many schools. So yeah. I think you're bringing an important issue forward that many schools deal with.
It is something. Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's something that I really like. I wanted to think out of the box for this project, and I'm thinking most people don't really think like, oh, what happens to that used phone I've only had for a year? Oh, what happens to those old batteries we just throw away like they're nothing? Even like if you think about the majority of things like vapes people throw to the ground. Yeah. Those are one of the big things we see in our town is people throwing vapes in anywhere they can do it because they're too lazy to just put it in a trash bin. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing your passion. And I think that's leading the way for others. Anybody have any questions for our Kenton team?
Yes, I do. First, I just want to congratulate you on a well thought through project. I love that you are involving teaching your community and your fellow students, as well as you've got a plan to actually do the work. You're going to you're going to set it up somewhere, and you're going to provide even the educational information on that, because I think that's a big step in changing behavior, is not just educating, but then telling them there's a place beyond what your town's already doing. So really a question, but I feel like I want to know, maybe what's your biggest takeaway, or your biggest, if you could say one big piece of learning.
My one big piece of learning was that I didn't think it was this severe. The more research I got, and learning all the health effects it can have, and that it does have a chance to get as almost as bad as the plastic waste problem. Like, I feel like that was one of the biggest impacts, and I really hope that we can people to stop it sooner and not have it get to that point.
And for me, it was the fact that we can go around everyday life and see batteries and all this other stuff just like laying on the floor. And it goes even farther beyond that. It's I did a project, or I did an artifact for my project where it was showing how much waste there is in the world. And one of the biggest items was electronics. And it's just crazy that even in smaller cities or towns, how prominent it still is.
And I think how it connects to our waterways, and just that impact, and going off of Rio Grande as well, just thinking about what happens on land directly impacts our waterways. We're all part of the watershed. We're all connected.
It goes through the soil right into the water, and think of you could be drinking it. Oh, and we had a slogan that I forgot to put on the slideshow, but it's "Don't be lazy, dispose it safely."
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I love that. All right, we're going to transition. Thank you all. We're going to move on to the next group so that we have time. And I do see that Pasadena Memorial High School is now in our room. So we turn it over to you. And this is Miss Baxter Swindle and her students. Are you here? I thought I saw them in here a minute ago.
They were just in here.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
While we look, if there's any other questions for any of the three schools that presented, we open up the floor for some more questions or comments. Any students want to comment on other student presentations? We'd love to hear questions from the students as well.
Say we to bring the box to our school, where would we put all the electronics in the box after it's full?
After it's full? So personally, from where we are, we have so when we build the box, or when we are able to put the box somewhere, what we will end up doing is there's a site online called, I believe, findyourbatteries.com, where you can type in like wherever you're located, and then figure out like where some batteries will take it, and then they will recycle it. Like there's Home Depots, but personally from where we are, there's a Bison's Turf. I don't know if that's anywhere else, but they take all types of batteries, and that's really it.
How many batteries you got?
Okay, thank you. Because we're thinking of implementing our school. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great group right now in this room, because we have Lower Westchester here in New York, we have Upstate in Buffalo, and we have a Texas team. So I think there's a lot of cross collaboration and learning from among all of these groups, and that you're kind of all connected through this approach of climate resilience and design, and showing a lot of innovation and creative ideas in the work that you're doing. I'd be curious to know, what are some key takeaways from this work? If we could hear from each group. Maybe Iona, what was your key takeaway from doing your project?
Our main key was probably both like what we said earlier, like the need to educate other people on climate change, and also the fact that like we kind of have to. It's not just about lowering our emissions; it's about trying to offset and like invest in like the UN's program, so we can just kind of carbon neutrality and like it's not just lowering our emissions; it's doing more than that. It's like educating other people and it's like offsetting it through like neutrality programs.
Right. Thank you. Great. And we were able to see these students at their school. Myself and Rowena did a little site visit a couple of weeks back, so we were already had a little preview of this project and some of the others. So great to see you guys presenting live. Well done.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah. Rio Grande, any key takeaways from your work with the water testing?
Yeah, the one thing is we just need more ways to get cleaner water. We need more water plants around here, especially around here. We don't have much of that. As we talked to the people that worked at the dam, we tried to talk to them about the water plants and stuff, and they told us that there wasn't very many, in the area. So that's like the one thing that we could take away. Just finding ways to get cleaner water, because this water is very important to us.
Through plants like desalinization plants along our coast, which we're not very far from. We're about 2 hours away, but even at that, just a couple around the coast would make a big difference. Even starting small works.
Absolutely. Thank you. And our Kenmore team, I know you kind of shared some. Oh, go ahead, Kanine. Did you have something?
Oh, no, I was just going to give an update. I'm not sure. This group may have technical difficulties,
Okay.
so we have time to keep discussing the other projects.
Perfect. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, we're coming up on our 10-minute mark anyway for wrapping up the entire symposium. So we have about another minute before we get booted back into the main space for closing remarks. So Kenmore, I know you shared a little bit of your key takeaways, but any other final thoughts on your projects or anything you'd want to share with the rest of the groups?
Not really for me, at least.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. Any final remarks from our guests in the room? I'm going to actually stop sharing just so we could see everyone's faces now and close out. Rachel or Elaine, any final inspiration for our students?
I'm just amazed. I think this is the third year that I've been invited and come to this, and I look forward to it because I'm inspired by the students and projects you choose. And it just makes me feel happy to know that the youth is really focused on answering questions and then also taking action. So I applaud you, and I hope you do try each other's projects where you are, and just keep learning.
Yeah, thanks, Elaine. You join us every year. Rio Grande, I see your hand is up. Do you have a question?
We don't have a question, but we just really want to thank the CELF program, you guys, for being able to give us the opportunity and share what we found. And as well as the other schools, I'm pretty sure we're all very grateful for this experience.
Very interesting. Things I didn't even think about.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Kanine, do you want to add anything or shout out your teams?
Yes, no, thank you so much for being here. I loved seeing everybody's presentations, and thank you to our guests. It was so great to see you, and I'm so glad we got to showcase our students' hard work.
Yes, thank you. And I know Miss Barraza will be presenting in person in Texas, so I know she's joining in today just to kind of hear and learn from how well these student groups have modeled civic science. So hopefully this has inspired you. Great. All right. Well, and thank you all for your flexibility. We know we have tech, we have school groups coming and going and having some issues. So we missed one extra group that would have been in our room to technical difficulties, but we will share and follow up. Thank you, Ms. Barraza.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Barraza.
And let me just check on our team chat here. What's our next steps? Thank you for your patience. Kanine, do you want to just message and say that we're ready and wrapped?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to let all the groups know, and I know in this room right now we have 2 groups here from New York, but I want to just shout out that we have a internship program this summer for high school students ages 16 to 18. I realize the Buffalo team might be a little far, but for our Iona Prep boys, if anyone's interested, it is a paid internship program for the month of July. I will follow up with your teacher if anyone is interested in this. I see some claps and yeses there. So we'll follow up after the symposium with more details. It is a competitive one. We only can take 4 for the summer. So if you are interested, get your applications in. And that will be for the month of July, about 4 days a week, shadowing the CELF team during our summer institute and having some green field experiences to learn about green careers and potential future pathways you may want to explore. So I will keep you posted on that. All right. Well, once again, you all did an amazing job. I think it looks like we might be running behind on the big end of things. But thank you.
I'm wondering if we have a couple of minutes as the other groups are finishing, I'm wondering, do any of the students have questions for each other?
We have a question for the Iona Prep School based on their carbon emissions or their CO2 levels. So what does daily life look like over there? I know that carbon footprints are different depending on the area you live in. Places that aren't as developed obviously have such a high carbon footprint. So what is life like there? What's the median household look like? What do people drive? How often do people drive? Is there public transportation?
Yeah, we are in very close proximity to New York City, so it's a very busy life. A lot of driving going around, a lot of public transportation, subway, buses, train station. Usually I would say that the CO2 emissions would be higher than in other rural or suburban areas. But yeah, we are very close to the city, so we have a lot of people coming in and out, and it's a very busy life here.
Yeah, New York is very mixed melting pot. So like medium household income, it very varies per like county to county. Like I'd want to say New Rochelle would probably be around, I would like to say 70 to 80 range, give or take. That's a estimate though based off other local counties of similar proportion.
Yeah, but the next town over would be 120.
Yeah, it's very, very greatly to different towns in New York. Thank you for your question. Did we fully answer it, or is there anything else?
That was perfect. Thank you.
Also, our weather is in here. It goes from fall to very, very cold in the winter, and it hasn't been getting much warmer. But the weather is kind of a hassle with keeping our CO2 down to a minimal.
Thank you for your question.
You bring up a good point too to think about, and one of the values of having a symposium in our virtual setting is that all these school communities have very different school communities, different weather patterns, different trends, different demographics, and that we can all learn from each other. We're crossing regions, even though we have 2 from New York, one's upstate and one is downstate, closer to the city. And then we have our Texas school. So what we love to do is bring together all these different communities and learnings so that we can really tackle, climate issues and sustainability issues. So you're all doing great work, and it starts locally so that it can have this global impact. So it looks like we are going to be transitioning to the main room. So once again, thank you all for your time. We'll see you in the main room and for closing remarks. So
Yes, thank you. Awesome job, everybody.
Great job. Thank you for our partners being with us today as well. We'll see you in the big room. I'm going to stop recording so I don't forget. And let me see.
Welcome to room 2, everyone. Sorry, I'm in the wrong slide. There we are. All right, let's see. Do we have Baltimore International Academy in the room? Welcome, welcome. Do we have government? Good morning, Miss Oji. It's so good to have you.
Thank you.
Do we have Government Day Secondary School in Nigeria in the room? I think they may still be joining. Do we have Kenmore Junior Senior High School in the room?
Here.
All right, welcome. And do we have Iona Prep in the room?
Yes, we are here. Hi. Hello.
Welcome, welcome. All right, well, I think we still have our friends in Nigeria joining. But let's go ahead and get started with what we're going to be doing. Partners in the room, would you mind saying hello and introducing yourself? We have Miss Burnt, if you want to come off mute real quick.
Hi, I'm Holly Burnt. I'm with Clear Creek ISD and I help with their STEM and robotics program. So I'm really interested to see how you guys have taken what questions you have about your community and brought science into it and found solutions. Thanks for letting me watch.
Fantastic.
This lady was nice.
And I think we might have another person or two joining, so we will give them a chance to say hello at the end. But I know we have a tight 40 minutes, so I want us to get onto it. So why don't we go ahead just to explain expectations here. We have 5 minutes for each presentation. I'll give you a 1 minute notice when your time is about to wrap up. And then we'll have about 5 minutes for Q&A. If anyone has any questions that you think of as we go ahead and put them in the chat. And then if we have any extra time at the end, we can address any additional questions that we didn't get to. So I'll be running your slides. So go ahead when you need to, just say next slide, and I will move them forward for you. So without further ado, why don't we get to Baltimore International Academy in your presentation on the importance of recycling.
Okay, go to the next slide.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I hear you great.
Okay.
Baltimore International Academy, Baltimore Green School, recycling for the past 5 years. Go to the next slide. Group 1, date 10/24/23. Weather conditions: sunny, 72 degrees. Temperature: 17. pH 6. Turbidity 2.5. Dissolved oxygen 10. Solidity 11. Group 2, date 10/24/23. Weather conditions: sunny, 72 degrees. Temp 17. pH 6. Turbidity 2.5. Dissolved oxygen 10. Solidity 11. Go to the next slide. Group 1, date 10/24/23. What animals did you find? The animals that we found were white-fingered mud crabs, glass shrimp, naked goby, and what do you think is the biggest water quality issue facing animals in the harbor? Turbidity. How can you make a difference? Pick up weight, pick up pet waste, native gardens, and that's it. Group 2.
Will all second escort your
Hello? Thank you, Matilda. Group 2, date 10/24/23. What animals did you find? The animals that we found were white-fingered mud crabs, glass shrimp, and naked goby. Same thing as group 1. What do you think is the biggest water quality issue facing animals in the harbor? And as for group 2, that is dissolved oxygen and salinity. How can you make a difference? We can make a difference by using bird seeds instead of salt to de-ice roads in the winter. Go to the next slide, please. And as you can see, there are various pictures of us doing what we've been doing over the past 5 years. Okay, go to the next slide. Inquiry: how to recycle using 3 R's: recycle, reuse, reduce. Where is waste coming from? People dropping on ground, litter, etc. How does it affect the environment, aka Chesapeake Bay? Data collection: students go around the building collecting paper, plastics every Wednesday.
DPW comes to pick up materials. Waste is weighed, which gives the students the amount being recycled. This improves their measurement skills. Next slide, please.
All right, and that's your 1 minute notice as well.
Analysis. The data confirmed that trash can be turned to treasure by recycling. Also, Inner Harbor is polluted based on the data collected. Design. Civic action by students to policymakers to make them aware of the findings and seek their support. Collaboration. Students worked in groups with teacher supervision on March 25th, 2025. Students went on a field trip to Cleggette to collaborate and collect data. Action. Reviewing data from field trips from National Aquarium and Cleggette Farms on water quality to see how it may connect. Review the effects of road salt. What are the alternatives such as birdseed? Next slide, please. Effects of the waste on the Chesapeake Bay and surrounding environment. The planet's average surface temperature has risen about 2 degrees Fahrenheit, 1.1 degrees Celsius. Since the late 19th century, a change driven largely by increased carbon dioxide and other human-made emissions into the atmosphere. Most of the warming occurred in the past 35 years, with 16 of the 17 warmest years on record occurring since 2001. Not only was 2016 the warmest year on record, but 8 of the 12 months that make up the year, from January through September, with the exception of June, were the warmest on record for those respective months. Next slide, please. The Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets have decreased in mass. Data from NASA's gravity recovery and climate experiment show Greenland lost 150 to 250 cubic kilometers, 36 to 60 cubic miles, of ice per year between 2002 and 2006, while Antarctica lost about 152 cubic kilometers or 36 cubic miles of ice between 2002 and 2005. The oceans have absorbed much of this increased heat from the top 700 meters, about 2,300 feet, of ocean showing warming of 0.302 degrees Fahrenheit since 1969. Both the extent and thickness of Arctic sea ice has declined rapidly over the last several decades. Next slide, please. Importance of recycling, reducing, and reusing. Recycling is really important because if a person drinks a soda and drink a bottle of water and throws it to the ground, it ends up in the Chesapeake Bay, which eventually ends up in the ocean. Data shows that recycling is important because it reduces/eliminates pollution. Reducing and reusing is also important. Next slide, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Well, we have a couple minutes for this one for any questions that our audience may have. Anyone have a question?
Yeah, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to pursue this goal? What made you want to pursue this for this project?
Hold up. Can you repeat that again?
Oh yeah, why did you want to pursue this project? What stood out in this project that really made you want to pursue it?
The reason we wanted to pursue this project, one, we saw how dirty and honestly a little bit disgusting how certain people can be when it comes to littering and pollution. And I feel like people know about pollution, but they're not very aware or
cognitive about it because they just know surface level things when really they like pollution really is really bad for the environment. I'd honestly think it's really bad, man. And seeing this happening, it's painful to watch that all these animals go extinct. In the past, many animals that thrived in certain environments are now gone due to pollution. So I'd say that's really what made us do this project and create it. And yeah.
Thank you. Well, I think the actions you're taking and the awareness you're raising is going to go a long way to hopefully changing some of those minds and those behaviors. I know we have another question from Kenton, but just because we're a little short, we're running a little behind schedule. Can we please save that one to the end if that's okay? But please keep it in mind or go ahead and put it in the chat so our Baltimore International Academy students can be thinking about their answer. I'm going to go ahead to Kenmore Junior Senior High School now, because I think our Nigerian friends are still making their way in. So if y'all can get ready, I've got your slides up and just let me know when you're ready to move to the next one.
Hi, my name is Bree. Hi, my name is Alyssa.
My name's Andre.
We're from Kenmore Junior Senior High School, and our project was the Big Picture Boutique. Next slide, please. Our question is, in our effort to upcycle and reuse clothing, how can we make our free student-run boutique a more appealing option than fast fashion shopping? And then that's our picture of our boutique.
The data we collected, our student room boutique gets an average of 2 large bags of clothing donations per week. There are not enough racks and shelves to display all of the donations. For example, we currently store pants and old filing cabinets, and on average, bags sit on the floor for 4 weeks before there is space to be displayed. We need to build a large donation box so that trash bags are not left on the floor. We need to build custom racks and shelves so that we can have better storage and organization in our boutique.
Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
For our collaboration, we visited the Kenton Closet, a local nonprofit that provides a free used clothing store for the community. We measured their custom racks and shelves so we can replicate their models. I'm so sorry. Those are our design ideas and how the width and the length we need the shelves. Next slide, please. Is it for me? Yeah, that one's me. Our in-house student internship program, BP Works, will help with building the shelves based on our design. Andre will sort and display the donations on the new shelves and racks. Those are pictures of our BP Works. Any questions?
That is amazing. I love seeing what y'all are doing. I have a question.
Thank you.
I'm a big thrift shopper myself, so I appreciate what y'all are doing. How do you let people know about the boutique? Is it just open to students, or do community come? How does your outreach work to let people know so you could maybe get those clothes moving faster?
So basically what I'm doing for my senior project is it's open to any students that go here. Well, pretty much anybody in this building. They can just come and take whatever they need, clothing wise, shoes, bags, hats, scarves, anything. When we get our donations, I just go through them. I try to sort them, keep it neat.
Students, Any other questions?
Thinking about like your inventory and what items are there, like what items go the quickest and have the most interest, and what items tend to sit longer.
More like with it being winter here, the coats and the gloves and stuff went fast, but more so in the summer, like the girls like to take a lot of the littler shirts and the shorts and stuff that like it just depends on the season what goes faster, but there tends to be like a lot of cardigans and stuff that'll sit longer. I noticed. Jeans will sit longer there.
That's awesome. So we also use the boutique for internships we do, and if we need like professional clothing or not, or if people come to school in PJs or like a hoodie or something.
When you have things that sit for a long time, do you ever do donations to other organizations?
So the organization that we're trying to like build our shows, how they have them, it's Kenton Closet, and we just send our donations that if they sit too long, we send it over to them and let them kind of distribute it how they need to.
Nice.
Well, I really like how you've taken something that might have just gone wasted and found new life and brought it as an opportunity to others in your school. It's just a real nice way to like reuse the things that we already have that they're probably getting lost in the system otherwise. So I love the project.
And making it fun, right? Being
Thank you.
sustainable is fun. And it's a community builder. Well, congratulations. I think we can move to our next group now. But please, if anyone has any questions we didn't get to, put them in the chat, and if we have time at the end, we will get to them. So congratulations. All right, let's go to our Iona prep students with the solar panel iPad charger station.
Hi, I'm Owen Carrara.
My name is Eli Kaplan. And I'm Aiden Byrne.
And our project is the solar panel iPad charger as part of our Action for a Better Future Club. Next slide, please.
So this is a graph of Iona's CO2 footprint. And originally it did start tipping down, but after a few years it started going right back up. So, we were wondering why, and it turned out most of it was from electricity use. So we said there wasn't much we could do, but if we could just reduce it any tiny way possible, that was what we wanted to do.
So one of the things that our facilities director suggested was that we could have a permanent structure / porch. And because of this, we agreed and thought that it would be a great idea and decided on a smaller project in terms of figuring out ways to reduce these carbon emissions and just make charging devices more convenient for the students at our school.
And yeah, it was especially a cold winter this winter, especially in New York. It was like almost 20 degrees, almost for a whole week. So a lot more carbon emissions was used, more than normal. So that was also a big thing that we used to answer our question. Next slide, please. So this is our data engineering. This is kind of the steps we use to build this project. So the first thing we did, to collect the data, we charged our iPad, the charge level prototype. The first prototype we had, which was 20 minutes to charge 1% on 50 watts.
Yeah, and that just wasn't going to cut it because our goal was to have it be able to charge during the lunch periods. That way it wouldn't interrupt class, or you wouldn't have to sit somewhere else. So that's when we decided to buy a different solar panel.
And this new solar panel that we purchased had 1,600 kilowatts of battery with super fast 600 watt USB-C charger. And not only that, but we also renovated the cart. It was much smaller, thinner, more portable, easier for us to move from point A to point B. It even had wheels, etc. We also got a more robust panel frame design for the solar panel that just allowed it to be a lot more flexible with any given scenario that we needed to use it in. And because of these new materials, we were able to get more sufficient and effective data through the well-primed charger that would replenish battery at a much quicker rate.
Next slide, please. So this is our collaboration and lessons learned. This was not an easy project. Brainstorming, hours of testing was needed, and help from our moderator. Nacho, who was a carpenter that we knew or was familiar with, helped us replace the screws with safe fasteners and framing that was made from the recycled catering of rack metal, which helped us eventually get an efficient charging.
And actually one of our teachers inspired us. she uses these little portable chargers, so we figured, why don't we also use it? So we took her portable chargers and we were able to charge those with the battery as well as the normal iPads. And while we're on the path of solving the inquiry question, the solar panel cart doesn't solve all of our problems, but it does reduce carbon emissions by giving students, a battery pack or, like we said, charging during lunch.
And during night, with whatever remaining charge that the battery has, we will be charging portable chargers for the students to use in class. This just makes it a lot more accessible, a lot more convenient for the students, and they don't have to worry about when exactly they'll be charging their devices or how they'll be able to get their devices charged throughout the day. Next slide, please.
Yes, this is actually for a better future for all. In the future, we want to put these carts around the campus in order to charge their iPads. This will obviously make a big change that we're hoping for and the real goal of this project.
Yeah, so like we said, the real goal was just to reduce our carbon emissions as much as possible through as many little steps as possible. So even a ton of little mini steps, they all eventually add up to reducing our carbon footprint by a big mile.
And this is through the main initiative, just building and implementing new ways for students to charge their devices while reducing our carbon emissions. Next slide, please. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Do we have any questions from our audience?
No questions. I just think this is a really good idea.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really?
Over here, we don't have any questions. I just have a statement. This is a very unique and well-made project. I like the themes and mentions of engineering and the whole idea of using solar panels. It's an amazing idea, and keep on the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Really clever ideas, guys. Really thoughtful. I just wanted to know, where does your design sit, and is it impacted by cloudy days or when there's not enough sunlight? How does it perform?
So when there's not enough sunlight, luckily the battery does hold a very good charge. So, if we go a few days without sunlight, it can still charge iPads. And the design, we actually just recently got it just about fully working. We're still doing some last minute testings, but it should be up and running very soon.
I wanted to ask, especially since we hear such excitement from your peers here, what would you recommend for other schools who are looking to do something like this in terms of, you've done so much research to kind of help them maybe make some shortcuts in terms of specs to look for, different features that, you would recommend?
Well, I think the main thing we're sort of try to be creative. There's not always going to be a very straightforward way to solving a problem that has this level of impact on the people around you. So, because when we first were trying to brainstorm ways to reduce carbon emissions, it took us at least a week of thinking and planning on how can we do this in the most effective, maybe creative way possible. And at first, we had practically no intention of using a cart with solar panels of all things, but we started brainstorming a little bit, figuring out how to get the right materials, and soon enough, they started working very well, and we're hopefully on the way to implementing this to a much higher extent in our school.
Amazing. We've got a question from Kenton.
We were just wondering where Iona Prep was.
Is it sunny?
Yeah.
Right now it's sunny. We're in New Rochelle, New York, about 20 minutes outside New York City. So yeah, in the Westchester area.
Any other questions or tips or ideas from our audience?
Actually, I have one more question. What do you guys plan on doing with this idea in the future?
Well, we're hoping to implement it hopefully on a larger scale and trying to really just optimize how much charging per day we're going to get. because on average, about 200 kids a day at Iona have to, at some point during the day, charge their iPad in class. So obviously, we probably can't get all 200 to charge with the solar panel cart, but if we can reduce that number, that's just that much less energy that's going towards those iPads.
Is your school signed up for the Grid Rewards program with Sustainable Westchester by chance, or have you heard of that?
I believe it is. I believe that is actually the other group's project. Is using that. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Well, we've heard from our three groups. Our friends from Nigeria, I think, are having connectivity issues and are still trying to get in. So if they do come in, we welcome them and we hope to hear from them. But in the meantime, you know,
you're ready.
You're here. Oh, yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let me know when you want me to move the slides.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, we are students from GDSS Chem, and our topic is waste to health as an alternative to energy source. What if we have told you that the solution to our energy crisis was hiding in a barn and in a rice mill every year? Millions of tons of rice bran and cow dung are treated as trash. They love
Oh no. Well, let's give them another minute. We know that they're having some connectivity challenges, but their project is very amazing. So maybe y'all can read what's on the slide. And then we can either continue, or if they don't jump in, we'll look at it ourselves.
Sorry about that.
Oh, are you there? Okay, great.
yes. What if we have told you that the solution, millions of tons of rice back out of being as trash. They log our waterways and release, but we didn't think trash. We saw potential. That this is the story of some waste into power.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello.
It's a little bit delayed, but if you can
good.
please go ahead.
It's a little bit delayed, but you can Okay. Now our inquiry to actions. Inquiry to action is the traditional. Inquiry to action. Why this? Why now? So the problem is that traditional charcoal causes deforestation. Rice bran is often burnt in fields, causing smoke. Now the big question we ask ourselves as students is that can we activate rice bran to create a clean burning fuel source that can replace our inquiry to actions? Yes. Next slide, please. Now, our inquiry led us to a big question. Could we create a process that doesn't require cutting a single tree? So we focus on activation by hitting the right brand in a low oxygen environment. That's called carbonization. So we made it more porous and energy dense, but we needed a binder to hold
Inquiry
it
to action. Why this? Why now?
That's where the cow dung came in.
The traditional charcoal causes dysphoria. It's often burned in field.
Now, this is the analysis we did. One bag of brisket that we have made can save 1 tree. If you look at the image, this is all about what we did. When you use 1 bag of brisket, you have already saved a tree from cutting down tree in the environment. Next slide. Now, this is the process. The first thing we did is that we activated the rice bran, that's carbonization. For 2 days, 2 to 3 days, we are carbonizing, where the carbonization took place for the rice bran. And then the soaking method, you can see the rice bran in the picture. And this is when we went to get the cow dung, mixing the cow dung with water. After mixing it with water for 2 to 3 days, then the molding process. We combine we compress the cow dung and the activated rice bran together with what is called, there's a local binder we use here in our community. It's a tree that can bind something together. We call it in our local dialect dargaza. So that's what we use as the binder together with the cow dung. After that, we molded it into brisket and then the sun drying. That was the final product. Next slide, please. Yes, the science of soak. So the whole process was like, our secret was the soak. By soaking the activated bran with cow dung, we created a natural combustible adhesive. The dung provides the fiber and the glue, while the rice bran provides the high energy heat. So we spent weeks testing the perfect ratio to ensure our brisket were strong enough to transport and efficient enough to cook with. It took us some time to do that. Next slide, please. So the data, what we observe in the whole process that we've done is that the key point to highlight is that the burn duration for the brisket, it took us more than 30 minutes for a brisket to burn completely. So it cooks gradually. We had to test it to see how long it's going to stay hot to cook. And then the smoke level, in our observation, we came to realize that it did not produce any visible smoke than that of the firewood, local firewood that we use. So all the raw material that we used were all cost-free. We didn't buy because it was something that was found in the environment as trash. Next slide. Yes, so this is the analysis. That's the cow dung and the rice bran, the soak, and by your left hand side is the cow dung, picture of the cow dung soaked for 2 days. And then by the right hand side, this is the hand of our student trying to do the mixture. So we analyzed the data and the results were incredible. Our bio brisket burned for 30 minutes, just as I've said before, and produced significantly less smoke than traditional wood charcoal. This means healthier homes and more money saved for families. So we proved that we don't need to destroy forests to cook our meals. Next slide, please. So the analysis and impact, that's the action phase. So this isn't just a science project, it's an environmental intervention. Now, if the whole community switches to rice bran briskets, we could stop deforestation in our local area overnight. We are taking inquiry to action by showing our community that their waste is actually a gold mine of clean energy.
Next slide, please. Closing is that the call to action that as we start at the start of this journey, we were students looking at waste, but today we are innovators providing energy. We invite you to rethink what you throw away, because when you look through the lens of environmental literacy, there is no such thing as waste, only resources waiting for solution. That's the final product of the brisket here in the picture by the left with the student molding it. Next slide. Thank you.
All right. Yay. Well, I'm so glad that we got to hear from this amazing presentation. So insightful, and congratulations on the incredible innovation and that powerful message that there should be no such thing as waste if we can get creative. We have to get back to our main room, but let's make time for maybe one quick question if anyone has one, or any words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement
from our audience.
Ooh, I actually have one. A word of encouragement. This was a beautiful project. I know you guys didn't mention this isn't just a project. This is a wildlife intervention. This is a beautiful project. One of the best projects I've ever seen in my life. It hits home because I'm actually from Nigeria. But yeah, the whole thing with deforestation and being non-wasteful, it's beautiful. It's a great idea. And you guys even got your hands dirty to create this project. And I just want to congratulate you guys on this beautiful.
That is so kind. Agreed. Well, congratulations to all of you. It's been so exciting to learn from all of your projects. We can't wait to see where you take these ideas next. It's time for us to get back into the main room. Time goes by so fast. But please, any other questions that come up, we can remain in touch. You know, our CELF team can help get more information to you. So again, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you back in the main room. So if you go ahead and just leave the room, don't leave the whole session, and then we'll meet back together with the other groups. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Here we go. Okay, and Gabrielle, thank you so much for joining.
Good morning. I'm getting my camera set up.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, we're gonna give it just a quick second here because I know we're just waiting on one group, and then we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Hey, Stephanie, this is Dawn Hipsch.
Hey.
We're having volume issues. We can't hear things very well, and I'm not sure if it's on our end or if there's a way to turn it up a little bit from
Okay. Yeah, check it out. You guys have a little bit of time. Y'all's group will be presenting second, so go and check it out. We can hear you guys fine, which I know isn't perfect, but just so you know, we can hear y'all.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So we are going to get started. I know we're waiting on Dallas to just kind of join in and get their audio set up, and we're waiting on Miss Sanders to come in. But I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'll have my teammate Grace introduce herself, and then we'll have our community partners here introduce themselves, and then we'll just dive into our presentations in just a minute here. So cool. My name is Stephanie Gray. I'm the Texas Program Director. So I work closely with schools here in the greater Houston area. I'm excited to have you guys all here today. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Grace. I'm based in New York, and I'm currently the communications and marketing intern for CELF.
And then we can popcorn it over. Kimberly, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly Cisneros Gill. I work at Wave Hill. It's a public garden and cultural center here in the Bronx. Hopefully one day when you come to New York City, you'll come visit us. We'd love to have you. I'm excited to hear your presentations.
Then Gabrielle, would you introduce yourself?
Morning, everybody. I'm Gabrielle Butler, and I'm the County Extension Educator for Community and School Gardens at Fort County AgriLife Extension. Not too far from the other groups that are going to be sitting with.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. And then I know that we have 3 student groups here. So if students, you would kind of come on off of your mics, introduce yourself really quick, say what school you're from, and then we're going to get started in our presentations. Miss Sanders' group will be first. I know, it's all right. I got your slides all lined up. So kind of take about 30 seconds here. Worthing, would you all introduce yourselves?
Good morning. My name's Samaya.
I'm Isaiah. We're from Worthing.
Wonderful. And then we'll bop over. Yeah, Miss Sanders' group, would you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Shauna. And my name is Elena.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you. And then our group from PTAA, are you all able to come off mute and introduce yourselves? Can you hear me better?
Yeah. Fun. Just say hello. Oh. Hello, Shatana. Hi. Hi, I'm Samara.
Hi, hello, I'm Nolan.
My name is Ronaldo.
My name's Sean.
My name's Nathan.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Cool. We're going to go ahead and get started. So over here with Miss Sanders' group, our first presentation is going to be the role of light spectrum in plant growth. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And how this will work is that you guys can just tell me when to progress the slides. We'll put 5 to 6 minutes on our timer for the presentation, and then we will get started with questions, and then we'll move to the next group. Can I get a thumbs up if that's all right? All right, let's do it. So it's just going to take me a second here to share my screen.
Also, as we're approaching 1 minute, there'll be a little clock icon that comes up in the corner. So just to let you guys know.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to hit present here. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. And then as soon as you guys are ready, get started on the presentation and we'll go from there.
Go ahead. The role of light suspends of plant in plant growth. Shauna, why is my name is Shauna. My name is Elena. Why is middle school having after-school gardening club? Students learn how to grow vegetables like greens and onions. My partner and I chose to study how light affects plants to see what kind of light spectrum helps them grow best. In January, we participated in the campus science fair. Question: does the color of light affect plants' growth? Materials: lamp, outdoor sunlight, 2 exotic angel plants. Results. The results that we have for the lamp for 0 hours, it stayed the same. Sunlight, it stayed the same. 24 hours, the lamp, it was starting to dry up. Sunlight, it was getting very hard and was starting to dry up. 48 hours, the lamp, it died after 48 hours. Sunlight, it died after 48 hours.
Sorry. There we go.
The data shows that the plants were drying out and almost dying. Both the lamp and the sunlight affecting the plants, but the lamp had a bigger impact. It absorbed more heat or energy than the sunlight did, which might be why the plants looked worse under the lamp. My partner and I kept working with special plants. We will put them under a lamp and outside in the sun to see which type of light helps them grow better.
All right, and then that's the end of the presentation. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
So now I'm gonna, real quick, I'll keep the slides up here and I'm gonna kind of go back just in case we have any questions. But now we have 5 minutes for question and answer. So let's all just kind of take a couple seconds, digest the presentation, and then we can go back to any slides and kind of ask our students questions. Yeah, Kimberly, go for it.
Great presentation. I'm wondering if you had to choose a next light source to continue your exploration, what would be a third light source you might consider?
Plants have different light requirements during the life cycle. Blue light is important during vegetation growth, while red light is important during flowering and fruiting stage to promote reproductive development in the plants.
So are you saying that you would continue to test the two different light colors?
Yes.
The red and blue? Great.
I'll ask, what did you guys like most about this experiment?
We liked about the experience,
Like
how-
whether to see which like
which
see-
plants would
would grow.
outside. We picked this because we'll see how lamp or outside door sunlight outdoor will see how plants affects plants.
Oh.
Can I ask the next question?
Yeah, totally.
I was wondering if for the lamp section, was this in a room with no like windows and like a closet under the lamp, or how was your setup for that portion?
Under the lamp.
Oh, like trying to say that. Was it in a room with no window and it was just
It was in a room with no windows inside a lamp. Under a lamp.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
overall, with y'all doing the project, how did you like doing your project?
It was good. We got to experience how plants work with sunlight and lamps.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much. Do we have any other final questions? And then we'll kind of shift to our second group here, which is going to be our PTAA North Dallas group. Okay, cool. All right, thank you guys so much. If we have some time at the end, we can kind of circle back and do more questions. Right now, we're going to shift to exploring controlled environmental agriculture as an urban food solution. So I'm gonna. Y'all can still see my screen here? Can I get some thumbs up from the Dallas group? All right, perfect. So I'm gonna just kind of let me know when you want me to advance the slides. You can just say next slide or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I will make sure that I can advance the slides here. Give me a second.
All right, I feel like I'll spend.
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second here.
You want to just go?
There we go.
Yeah.
And
Hello, my name is Nolan Harris, and I'm here with Shatana Wilson, Samara Abrams, Ray, Ronaldo, San, and some other people in the background. And we're going to be presenting the North Dallas Food Desert. And what the North Dallas Food Desert is an area in North Dallas that, hold on, you clicked out of it. is an area in North Dallas that does not produce enough food to sustain itself. And about 36% of Dallas residents live in this area. And in this area, about 33 of those households do not have a car. Next slide.
Hi, my name's Sean. So with the grants that Ms. Hipsch got, we were able to get a few grow boxes, some potty mixes, and some with pin moss, some with no pin moss. So we had to get some pin moss. So back to the slide. So we had this, we got a simple design. We organized the clusters. We got some flood protection, and we made it easily mobile. So the clusters, they were grouped into frames. We had floor tarps, and the grow boxes have wheels on them, so it's easy to move them outside if the weather outside is favorable. And while we were using our grow boxes and the potting mix, we ran into a few issues like high pH and poor soil wicking, which Nathan's gonna explain in the next slide.
My name is Nathan. I'm here to tell you how we solve these problems. So the three major problems we faced were extremely high pH, which should have been around 7, but consistently stayed around 8 to 9. And the soil could not hold the water well. And we also had a major problem with mosquitoes, which at first just sounds like an annoyance, but can spread diseases between the plants. To solve these problems, first we introduced some citric acid in small quantities to lower the pH. And we also added basic H to the water as a surfactant to increase water retention. And then we introduced some bacteria, specifically BTI, to kill the mosquito larvae before they can grow up. And it's
All right, next slide. Hey, my name is Ronaldo, and here we have a visual representation of that data. We start off with height. On the top graph, we can see how, like, from the earlier dates, the older dates, we can see how we start off, and then the grow boxes, the plants in the grow boxes start like increasing over time. On the bottom, we can see that or some of the heights of our grow boxes with like ups of 80 centimeters to lows of about 10 centimeters for some of the plants in those grow boxes. And up next in the middle, we got the moisture. So in the top graph, you can kind of see how moisture is looking like, but you can have a better representation of that data in the bottom graph where you see the heat map. And you can see the darker groups are the areas in the boxes that are the most like moisturized. And we have like an average of 8 to 9 moisture out of 10, which is really good. So yeah, overall we have really good moisture in our air boxes. And then for the pH, which is up a less, we can see that our pH hasn't been doing like great recently because it's been laying around like 8 and 9, as you can see over there in the graph. The highest that we like recorded is about a 9 pH, and the lowest is about a 7. But recently we were bringing our pH down, but like Nathan said, adding citric acid. But yeah, we're working on trying to lower our pH. Thank you.
It's me again. Here you can get a closer look at the pH data, which I've adjusted to be easier to read. And it shows that around March 2nd is when we started introducing the citric acid, and you can see it is having a very noticeable effect as most of the things go down from a 9 to like a 7.5 or an 8, which is what we want.
Hi, next slide. Hi, my name is Samara. So if we were to redesign or to improve our SIP, we would add a 3 to 4 inch layer of peat moss above the soil because peat moss is naturally acidic and tap water can be alkaline, causing our pH to be higher than we would want it. So to lower it, we would put the peat moss so that as the water wakes up to our soil, the peat moss will release hydrogen ions. And then in our 2 wicking columns, we would use peat moss and perlite in a 50-50 ratio.
and then add mesh or fabric so that our perlite wouldn't go into our water, so that capillary action can happen because of our peat moss, and that it doesn't drown because of the column being wet. We would add perlite so that it's porous and has oxygen.
Another attempt to help our SIP redesign is to add hydrogen peroxide to the water solution to improve the oxygen level in the soil and eliminate harmful pathogens. And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you guys
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Nice job, everybody. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any questions?
I guess I'll ask the first question. Great job, guys. I really like the design of your project, and especially on this last slide, when you talked about design and what you would do different. So I want to know from you guys, where did the initial design come from? Was this a kit that you got, or did you build it from scratch?
What you said? Can you repeat that?
The question is, was the original design something that you guys came up with from scratch, or did you build it from a kit?
We came up with it from scratch. Yeah.
Did you create it in class or at home?
In
I
class.
have a question.
Yeah, in class, we talked about it. We discussed it like as a group, and then we created it.
Did you create it in class or at home?
In class.
Yeah, in class. All of the work was in class.
How many days did it take you?
Like a couple.
Yeah, like a few weeks, maybe.
Yeah, like a few weeks.
Like two or three.
Well, we only have class like 2 or 3 times a week though.
Yeah, we got class like 2 to 3 times a week. So like a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you for your reply.
Of course.
Okay, so I just want to say I loved y'all project. It was amazing. A question I have is like, how did you guys like understand and realize that y'all were staying in a food desert?
No plants are grown that are edible in a very large radius in urban areas. So that's just what a food desert is, where you can't just like go somewhere and like nearby and just walk somewhere to get food. You have to like go to a place to buy it or eat, something like that. You can't be self-sufficient without a garden. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll jump in. That's a really good question. I was wondering the same thing because I'm not from your area. So I guess what I'll ask is, what do you hope to do next with this information that you've put together?
We hope to like grow more edible food and like
but we also hope to lower the pH. So like 7 or less, preferably. Preferably less than 7.
And I think we'll just have time for one more quick question. Gabrielle, if you want to go, and then we'll move to our final presentation.
Okay.
I'll make it quick. Since this project was a success, do y'all plan to continue growing with the irrigations or are you gonna, I guess, terminate the project and try something new? Because the setup is nice. I'll just say.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Do you plan to continue growing with this system or try something new next year? Because the setup is really nice.
Are we gonna keep growing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And talk about hydroponics.
Oh yeah. We're supposed to get a hydroponics setup. We were supposed to get it a while ago, which is what this presentation was originally going to be about, but we didn't get it. So it'll be coming later, and we're gonna try and grow in that as well.
Listen over here, except you got it.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. That was amazing. We're gonna transition now to our third presentation. So let's get our slides all arranged here. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. Okay, and then give me here, let's see if I can do this. Sorry, 1 second. All right, and give me a quick thumbs up here, Worthing, if y'all can see it okay. Okay, awesome.
Oh, good morning. My name's Samaya. This is my partner, Isaiah. And today we'll be talking about our journey, the Worthing journey of compost. So you may be wondering, how does composting impact food systems in urban communities? So some ways composting food waste can impact communities is by lessening the waste of food, because 40% of U.S. food is wasted each year, and 1 out of 6 American people wonder where their next meal will come from. And the reason why I say that is because Worthing is indeed one of those places that is in an urban system, which means we have to travel to different places to go and get fresh food and items and things like that, instead of us being in our local neighborhood and able to easily go and do that. So, some variables and methods of how here at Worthing we have started, which is our 3 different ways of composting, which is our tumbler compost, our 3-bay system compost, and our vermicompost, that we have been experimenting with to see which one would be best fit for our plants and animals and to give to the community.
So the ups and downs of our journey is that at the start, our 3-base compost started to dry up because the intense heat of last year, it dried up the 3-base, which is a natural process of decomposing natural organic material. And we are starting a little project of compost tea, and it wasn't very potent at the start because of the 3-base compost, it wasn't producing enough. So as time went on, we got better with the process and we've got good results. As you can see, fresh compost.
This is from our tumbler.
Yes. A few days ago, we harvested this and we put the compost in these tea bags, and
which is our compost tea.
Yeah, it's a process that we've been starting a few months ago. It's you put the tea in the water and you pour it on your plants, and hopefully the nutrients will go into the soil and it'll help the plants grow more stronger. So our results with our compost is that we had a harvest of, was it kale? Right. It was like huge bushes of kale.
Okay, so we had mustard greens, we had kale, we had peppers, we had okra, and we had a lot of other vegetables that we were growing here at our farm. Some tested with the compost and some tested with just our natural soil. And the results of that, some of them were actually growing with our compost and some was growing with the natural soil. And we realized that maybe experimenting with the compost a little more, we can finally realize different ways of how to use the compost and give that knowledge out to other people. And these are some images of some things some kids at our school have been making, and some images that we have taken outside of us doing different things with our compost.
And I think, is that, yeah, and then that's the last slide. Okay, awesome. Nice job, guys. That was great. Very cool. Okay, we'll kind of roll right into questions here. Yeah, Gabrielle, go for it.
Hi guys, great project. My question is, if you were sourcing the materials from your compost, from like the school kitchen, or was it just like voluntary for anybody that wanted to drop off materials?
Do you want to answer that, or me?
Yeah, I'll answer. So yes, we have been using ingredients from school lunches and other sources like brown plants and green waste from like the weeds in the garden and the fruit peels from the kitchen and other sources.
And then a lot of our teachers and students have also been helping out with like if they have anything on their plates and they're not going to eat it, but we strictly like want only things that is able to be decomposed, which is like fruits, vegetables, not anything that's like paper. Well, we could do paper, but like cardboard and stuff like that.
Good job. I was wondering, have you been able to look outside the school and see if there's anyone in your community doing similar work or somewhere you can share this with?
Yeah, I've seen a few kids at our school actually that have went outside and went to our 3-base system compost and actually put some things in there. And I was like, okay, so the word of like, us doing stuff is actually being spreaded around our school. And a few teachers actually have been asking questions of like ways they can help and things like that.
We have a question. How long did it take to water the plants in a full week?
Like the compost are the actual plants that we were using with the compost.
The actual plants.
Like
Actually,
the one.
both.
Okay, so the one, since compost is something that dries up, compost was like something we had to water almost daily, like every day. Yeah. While with our natural plants, it was like you could water them and you could leave them for a couple of days, and after that, come back and water them again.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask real quick, how did you get this idea?
Like which one, the actual doing of compost or the tea bags?
The whole process of this being your topic.
Okay, so the idea of why we wanted to do composting was because since Sunnyside is in a urban area, we seem like that a lot of people were like having to leave this area just to go get fresh food and vegetables. In a way, with composting, if people know and have the knowledge to be able to compost, they can do this stuff at home and grow their own fruits and vegetables instead of having to struggle. And because like a lot of people have disabilities and things like that. So instead of them going out, they can do this stuff at home and not have to travel to these places and go get fresh foods and vegetables if they can go to their backyard or to their front yard or just anywhere like in their house and just be able to go do it at home.
That's great. I'll ask a question. For our other schools here that aren't doing compost, so Weiss Middle School and PTAA in Dallas, do y'all do compost at your school?
Yes.
We do compost. So we say it. Yes. We compost? Where?
No, we don't.
No, we don't compost.
I have a question for Sanders. What type of compost do you do?
We do like, since I'm in the after school program and I go to garden a lot, we like put weeds in the compost and like
So do y'all do bin compost?
Sounds like tin compost. But it is
yes, I think so.
getting material in the bin and then it just decomposes itself. Interesting.
If we have time, Stephanie, I wanted to ask about the vermicomposting because that's one of the forms that I really like to do, and I have a worm bin house with red wigglers. So can you tell us a little bit about that part of the project, if we have time?
So currently we are trying to do vermicompost, which is worm compost. And it's the process of worms eating organic material and their waste is used to nutrify plants.
So it's still something in experiment with us.
And also, their teacher, Mr. Turner, I would just like to say thank you to CELF for allowing us to do this presentation. And we are actually trying to reach more schools within our feeder pattern and also give them compost in order for them to grow more vegetables in their schools as well. So they'll be actually taking some of the compost to different schools probably later on in April, so they can get started with their own gardens as well.
Congratulations. That was thank you, Mr. Turner, and thank you all from different schools. I think like one of the strongest things that come out of these virtual symposiums is really like learning from other students. So that was one question I kind of wanted to ask everybody. We still have a couple minutes here in our breakout room before we all come back together. But what's one way, just exactly what Mr. Turner kind of said, what's one way that you guys are, like the people that aren't in your class, aren't in your like garden club working, how do you like tell your peers or other students about the projects that you guys are doing?
Oh, so a way is because I'm very dedicated to what I do. So some ways it's like I tell my mom or like I'll tell friends, and that's that my friends will tell like other people that they know, and that's that my mom will tell other people that she knows, and that like the word just spreads around on its own because everybody can see like the living situation that we are in, and that's that they'll like, you'd want to do better for yourself and for your community. So as that word is getting spreaded around, everybody can like get like understand the idea of what everybody in this community is trying to do.
Yeah, cool. Could you guys give one example of like how specifically you spread it around at your school? Like, do you just kind of like tell your friends like as it comes up, or do you guys ever like do like a tour of the compost or something? Like, what does that look like?
We actually do ads. So we
Yeah.
go on Canva and we make ads about compost and all the other projects that we're doing. And then we print them out and put them all over the hallways so everybody can see the progress of what we're doing.
And
Okay,
also
cool.
selling people.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, sweet. Well, thank you guys so much. We're gonna pause here for just a second. We might have a group who is experiencing some like tech difficulties in another room join us, but I just want to take a minute and just say like thank you guys so much. Like those presentations were amazing. I'm so happy to learn from you guys. Keep it coming and, reach out to us if you guys need any resources or like I encourage y'all to kind of share contact information and reconnect because a lot of the projects y'all are doing kind of have like a lot of overlaps. Cool. All right, sweet. So we're gonna pause here for just a second. While we're kind of just hanging out here, Gabrielle, would you just talk a little bit more about how you support school gardens? And then if we have this final group jump in, I'll just kind of transition us over to their presentation real quick.
Sure. Thank you, Stephanie. Again, I'll echo what she said. Wonderful job, guys. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so excited to be able to be here to witness, your presentations and all the hard work. And so that's exactly kind of what I do in my role as the community and school gardens educator. I work directly with teachers, with students on projects exactly like these. Sometimes people reach out to my office and say, we really want to start a school garden, or, I want to give my kids some hands-on experience with gardening. How do I start? What ways, can we kind of get them off the ground? A lot of times those projects start pretty organically with, experimenting with some seeds or looking at the landscape that's at the school and just identifying plants. And then from there, depending on the age group and, their abilities and access to resources, we kind of design a project that fits their school, something that really draws on like their culture, what they're interested in and career paths. And then we design kind of like a project that goes with it, as well as with 4-H. If any of y'all are familiar with 4-H, it's very similar to FFA, and it's our youth development program with AgriLife Extension. So even the groups that are in Dallas, even the groups that are in Houston, pretty much all over the country, every single county has an extension program. So I definitely do recommend that you reach out to Harris County Extension. And then in North Dallas, if you're in Dallas County or Tarrant County, I'm not sure with geography up there, they can help you get connected to resources with like curriculums of how to do projects, how to present those projects. There's local competitions, there's regional competitions and state competitions, and you can get scholarship money for the hard work that you're already doing. So I just kind of answer general questions. Sometimes I go to the school, check out what they're doing, give them some suggestions. But a lot of my work is advocacy as well. So when I go meet with county commissioners, when I meet with people from nonprofit foundations, when I meet with community leaders, I'm saying, hey, you know, the school down the street, those kids, their ag department, they're doing amazing. Here's some pictures. You need to go talk to them. And so that's pretty much what I do. And I'm really excited to be here.
Can y'all hear us? Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Hi, my name is Zoe.
And Alexia.
And our project is titled about hand wash hustle.
Wash germs away. Go. Teach students about hand hygiene by visually demonstrating how germs can stay on hands even after washing.
Materials: glow germ lotion, UV flashlight, and hand soap, water, and paper towels.
Location. We conduct our hands wash project during lunch.
Guide to hand washings. Wet hands. Place 1 drop of glitter bug potion on the palm of your hand and rub hands together, making sure to coat all surfaces of both hands with the lotion.
Soap up, scrub. Wash hands in warm water for 2 minutes without any soap, continuously scrubbing with medium intensity, making sure to wash all surfaces.
Guide to hand washing. Raise, well, and dry. View hands using a UV light and to view how much skin it still has germs.
Hand wash hustle techniques. Wet hands, apply soap, rub palms, lather, scrub, rub knuckles, clean thumbs, rinse hands, dry hands, Viola.
Clean hands, good vibes. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Next month, we will host a hand washing hustle campaign to promote healthy hygiene habits. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
We have time for just one quick question here, and then we're all going to be bumped back to the main room.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so what gave you the idea of wanting to do this project? Like, what made you want to do the hand washing hustle project?
Because students have been sick a lot at school, so we want them to be healthy and stop spreading germs.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I wish we had more time for questions, but you should have just received a little pop-up window here. Go ahead and leave the breakout room. We'll go back to the main session for a wrap-up. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, we're the first ones back. Look at us.
Oh,
Does anyone have any last questions while we're here?
oh, we have a question for MD.
From Maryland.
Maryland, sorry. Is it how is it? Is it really useful to use bird seeds instead of normal salt for ice? No. During the winter? I don't even know if that makes sense. Sorry.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry, breaking up.
I'll say it. They asked if the bird seed is really useful as a replacement for the salt for dealing with ice and snow.
In this field, I probably can't say because I haven't had experience with that. But I think it does for what I've seen and what I've heard it works, but I'm not sure for certain because I haven't tried it out myself or anything like that. But I'd recommend you trying out for yourself.
I can add to that because by the end of January, Baltimore saw a storm that we had like snow, ice, and sleet, and it was difficult to clear it. I think it's in formation process because people are like, I had to get out, and we were stuck for 3 days. That can be a barrier or a challenge, but over time, it usually works. And because the salt that was used, they used a lot of salt, Baltimore City government, and everything will end up in the inner harbor and eventually ends in the Chesapeake Bay. And we all know, the students already know that we live in Chesapeake Bay watershed. And it's very important to pay attention to what we are doing.
We live in Buffalo, New York, so we get a lot of snow. So we love these ideas. And this is giving us ideas for our projects next year because Buffalo gets a lot of snow and we're right on Lake Erie and the Niagara River. So we want to help protect those waterfronts.
Good.
Amazing. All right, everyone. How was that? You want to just open up with a round of applause for everyone? We have everyone back here. Yay. Awesome. We had some great presentations in the rooms.
Great job,
and
everyone.
yeah, wonderful questions. I know all of you have worked so hard. And so we want to just have some closing thoughts from our guest speaker, Shino, who is from the New York City Soil and Water and also is part of the New York State Board of Regents. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm sorry I couldn't see everybody. Clearly, I can't be in 4 different breakout rooms at the same time, but I'm so impressed by what I saw of the projects by students. So I want to start with thanking the CELF, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out the acronym, but CELF staff for inviting me and allowing me to be a part of this wonderful event. So thank you. And thank you for the work you do, because without your advocacy, we couldn't pass the climate education requirements in New York State. And I also want to thank the guests who are here in this space, taking time off your busy day doing the work you do and supporting the students, and the teachers for doing this work with your students. I know you are already under so many different mandates, and to do this extra work means so much to me personally because it gives me hope that there are people out there trying to do the right thing and teach the right thing to students, even without the state level requirements. And finally, I want to thank the students because I do what I do because of you. I'm trying not to leave this planet in worse shape than I found it when I became a grown-up. I'm trying to do better, and it gives me so much hope to see you, students, young people, the next generation, doing this work and caring about the environment and our collective future. So thank you so much. I just want to say a few things about the importance of collective action, which is what I saw in your presentations today, right? Sometimes we focus on individual action, like, oh, you have to recycle, you have to reduce your energy usage, you have to turn your lights off. All those things are really important, and you should continue to do that. But real big change that makes a difference come from collective action, a large group of people coming together and advocating for change. And that includes the political system as well, right? Oftentimes teachers will tell you, we can't bring politics into education, but we have to actually vote if you can. Some of us cannot. I'm not a US citizen, so I can't vote, but I engage myself in the political system in other ways. And that is really important because if we don't have the right people making decisions, then we're not going to be able to make a big difference, right? So this importance of collective action, people coming together to make change at the systems level, is really, really important. And for that to happen, educating other people, which the projects that I saw today really had all those components of educating other people, reaching out to people in your school and communities beyond. That is really, really important too, because people will not be motivated to take action unless people know why this matters. So I was really happy to see all the projects that really focus on what we can do as a community. And that's so important for making a real difference in the world. Also, being a critical thinker, right? It seems to be in such short supply these days. When you turn the news on or you're watching something on TV or on social media, there are just so many comments that lack critical thinking. And the presentations I saw today by students told me that students are still able to do critical thinking and continue to do that critical thinking is really important. And the process you went through to create your project, that's part of critical thinking, right? Because you first had to ask meaningful questions. That means you had to be curious and you had to wonder about what was happening in your own community. And then you have to ask questions. You don't take something as a given. You have to learn to ask questions, meaningful questions. And that was the process you went through in your projects. And you also have to surround yourself with people who have different lived experiences and different perspectives. That's really important too. You have to seek out environment and communities that are diverse so that your ideas can be challenged. And when your ideas are challenged, that's when you become critical thinkers. You hone your critical thinking skills. So you already know this, but don't believe everything on internet and social media, right? Always be a critical thinker and ask questions. And also, one thing I noticed about the way this virtual session set up, and this is really a big credit to you, CELF folks, that it's not compartmentalized, right? We're talking about climate change and environmental improvement, and we are really broad in that approach. We're not just talking about climate. We're not just talking about saving wilderness or planting trees. We are really talking about holistic approach to what we need to do. And that's what I called breaking down silos, right? People do agriculture, and that's a silo. People do forestry, that's a silo. People do climate change, that's a silo. And people do renewable energy, that's a silo. But today's virtual symposium brought all these different projects together because they're all related and they're all connected. And that kind of avoiding compartmentalization is also really, really important. We have to understand how composting relates to climate change. We have to understand how renewable energy relates to saving trees and saving wildlife because they are all connected. So it was really a wonderful experience to see the students work. And I thank you, everybody, so much for allowing me the space to talk to you and to see you in action. I am filled with hope, which is actually the last thing I wanted to tell you all. This work can really be very depressing sometimes. I find myself thinking about the future and worrying about the future. So I have to actively look for something that makes me hopeful. And today's symposium was one of those moments that makes me so hopeful for the future. So thank you for making me hopeful. Thank you for giving me fuel to continue my advocacy. And I'll end it there since we're at time or above overtime.
Yes, but thank you, Sheena. Oh, yeah, thank you for your words of wisdom and reflections. And Yeah, big round of applause. And for all the students like this, yeah, seriously, this brings hope, and always ending these virtual symposiums, it does fill a lot of us with hope. And just that collective action and that that is needed. This is wonderful. So I want to just thank everybody here. I know we've gone over time, but I think it's still important to close out and also leave space if anyone else wants to say anything. We love to open that up for especially any guests, and I know a lot of love is going into the chat. And we are led by advocates like you, Shino, but also now bringing forth from the students. You all are leaders as well. So I want to open it up.
We hear a lot about, the young people are the future, but you're doing it now. You're leading now. And so I want you to know that, you're already doing it, and we're just excited to see what more you do, and we're here for you.
So inspired. Thank you all. Great job. Amazing.
Yeah, just check out the chat. It's a lot of inspiring and filled with hope. Thank you all. Keep up the amazing work. The future is green and bright. Yes, indeed. And yeah, we can't wait to see more projects in the future and hear about all the development that happens within your communities. So I think we'll end there, but also let's take a picture if we can.